Today we're going to talk about biblical veganism parallels. And it's something that people are trying to figure out. They'll say, well, there's nothing in the Bible that says that we're to be vegan. It doesn't say that. Or does it? If we look at Genesis, the beginning of Genesis chapter 1, verses 29 and 30, seems to say that we should be plant eaters only. That's what it says. And it uses the word shall. It shall be food for you. And that's the parallel, if you want to call it that. But to me, that's a pretty direct command that we should be eating plant foods. That is a parallel if we want to look at it. When God led the people out of Egypt, led the Israelites out of Egypt, he fed them with bread from heaven, manna, which was not composed of any animal product. It gave us all the nutrition that we needed, prevented us from getting sick, which a vegan diet does do in a lot of cases. In most cases, I would say, if you eat a healthful, whole food vegan diet like we're supposed to eat. So we have a parallel. What about the story of Noah and the ark? The humans that were there, the 8 humans, and all of the animals, they need each other. They were vegan. They had to be living a whole plant food diet or sleeping through it. But that was the food that was on board. There is no death. It only was after the flood when Noah sacrificed some of the animals, which God never told him to do. And while God accepted the sacrifice, he also said that man is evil from his youth. And that's talking about mankind. So it includes the women too. You're not getting off scot-free. So we have to understand that. That's a parallel. And if we think about what God says, he says in the end of chapter 5 of Matthew, he says, you shall be perfect as your Father in heaven is perfect. Okay, now, we're not, and that doesn't mean that someday we will be. That means that that's the way we're supposed to try to live. Paul acknowledges, and he says, all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. Well, we have, I have, you have. But to what extent? And if we look at what God's heavenly will is, like in the new heaven and the new earth, where all evil is done away with, there's no pain, no suffering, no death. Well, isn't that also a parallel to vegan living? Because if there's no death, you can't eat another living being. Something to think about, isn't it? These are biblical veganism parallels. Amen?